The woman wanted to get her hands on her husband's billions, so she poured an entire bottle of poison into the wine. But just then her husband suddenly showed up and pulled her into his arms. Luckily the woman moved fast, but the husband suddenly stopped eating.
I want to propose a toast.
What?
A toast.
The woman panicked instantly. She quickly lied and said she felt dizzy and nauseous, but the clueless husband insisted she take a sip, then started shaking all over. That's when the man finally realized his wife had tried to kill him, but it was too late for regret. With the last bit of strength, he crawled to his wife's feet, begging her to save him, but instead of helping, she just stood there and watched him die. She then immediately called her lover and told him everything that happened. Turns out the whole thing was planned by the two of them. It makes the victim appear as if they died from a heart attack, and the toxins vanish within minutes, so there would be no evidence. Seeing no signs of foul play, the police quickly ruled it an accident. With Charlie backing her up as a medical expert, they just offered her some sympathy. Was that the poison didn't fully kill her husband? And he woke up inside the coffin. Rainwater had seeped in and woke him up. He started pushing on the lid with all his strength, but the nailed-down coffin wasn't easy to open. As the air got thinner, he struggled to breathe. After some effort, he finally climbed out of the grave, taking deep breaths of fresh air. It felt like he had been reborn, and the first thing he wanted to do was get revenge on the woman who betrayed him, but his figure was spotted by the wife. Luckily the dog outside barked a few times, and the heavy rain made it hard to see, so she thought it was just the dog scratching the window. Little did she know, the man had already climbed in through the garage window, and was hiding in the basement. After resting for the night, he felt much better, and while she went to work, the wife had already returned to the bedroom, changed clothes and was ready to leave. By the time he loaded the gun and came out, the sheriff suddenly showed up at the house. To be polite, she went to the fridge for drinks, but noticed some of the food was missing. Feeling guilty about killing her husband, so the sheriff didn't suspect a thing. Once he left, Charlie and the woman discussed selling off the man's house and company, then leaving town to live a carefree life. But they didn't know, the man in the basement had heard every word. He was so furious, he wanted to kill them right then and there, but as he got closer, he heard something shocking. The wife had even gotten rid of their baby. Just to keep seeing Charlie, he began setting traps around the house, swearing to make them pay dearly, but he forgot to clean up his traces, which made the wife suspicious. She started panicking, and quickly called Charlie, begging him to come back, but Charlie wasn't in the office. Terrified, she grabbed a weapon, and began searching the house alone. That's when the dog suddenly barked at her wildly, as if it was about to tear her apart. Meanwhile Charlie finally listened to the voicemail, but he wasn't in a hurry to save her. Instead he extracted poison from a fish, because all he ever wanted was the dead man's money. He never truly loved the woman. Now that his plan had worked, she was no longer useful to him. Soon he arrived at the house, but after calling for her a few times, no woman woke up in the basement. Hearing Charlie's voice, she rushed to the door for help, but the man kindly opened it for her, scaring her back into the shadows. Hearing the noise, Charlie went down to check, but the woman now believed he was the one who locked her in, so she knocked him out while his guard was down. Once he was unconscious, she grabbed the cash and ran, only to find out it wasn't Charlie who locked her in. Soon, Charlie woke up. She quickly apologized, saying it was all a misunderstanding. Charlie realized he was in danger, so he pretended to forgive her, thinking he'd deal with her later, but they couldn't figure out who was trying to kill them, because the man had been wearing a mask. Right now their only goal was to get out, so Charlie grabbed the shotgun and tried to shoot the door lock. Charlie panicked, his mind filled with horror movies and the fear of death and torture. He started yelling at the man, trying to lure him into a fight, but this was exactly what the man wanted, because he knew Charlie was cracking and had no way out. That night, Charlie kept shouting, but the woman had lost all hope in him. As she debated whether to rest, two started fighting, both trying to kill the other first. But in the end, the woman lost, and Charlie pinned her down. Just as he was about to finish her, the basement door opened. They quickly teamed up again to face the man together. Then the front board opened. Charlie thought the killer wanted the money, so he walked forward happily, still clutching the poison needle, planning a sneak attack, but the killer turned out to be the man from the grave. Startled, Charlie accidentally stabbed himself and died from his own poison. Then the board in front of the woman opened. She tried to run, but the man blocked her path, so she could know what it felt like in a coffin. But he didn't stop there. He set the house on fire to erase all evidence, then went off to travel the world and finally enjoy his new life.